I am the greatest.
Peace, 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 and welcome to another edition of Casual Conversations. Every Thursday and Saturday, and we always have a special guest, and we're gonna hop right to it. But before that, man, gonna introduce my co-host.
What up, dog?
You know what I'm saying? What's going on?
Hey, how we living, Slim?
I'm good.
Slim-O, man, what's good?
I'm great, man. You know, no complaints.
No
man.
complaints?
No complaints.
You always looking stellar, man, like a hot fella. Put it together, you know what I'm saying? My name is Dirty Red. We locked in here with Casual Conversations. We're right here at the Westside Art Studio.
Yes, sir.
We got Project 89106. Never give up on your dreams. And that's what it's all about, man. That's why we got Casual Conversations. That's why we've been doing it, because we want to give people like us a voice, a platform, a place where we can have those conversations, those nuggets, and those jewels. You dig what I'm saying, Slim?
Absolutely.
You dig, man. And you all right. We definitely have a legend in the building, someone that's close to home for all of us. And this is not his first appearance, nor will it be his last.
Absolutely.
And without further ado, Slim, take it away, player.
Well, before we do that, we're gonna introduce our other co-host that usually is behind the scenes.
Yeah, I love the way you did that.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? And she's introduce yourself.
My name's Marissa Plain. I usually work with costumes and behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So it's
talented,
beautiful.
right?
Super.
Now she's in front of the camera. You know
It's beautiful to come in and help with the cameras here. Now it's beautiful to be on the scene with you guys, interviewing people. So
Yes.
my name's Marissa Plain.
Yes, and it's great to have you, Marissa. Okay, now.
And without further ado,
Yes, this gentleman, this young
Come on
man,
now.
this young man that we have,
Young man.
sitting next to me, to my left, has been here before, like Red said, and we had to do a part two because the accolades and the things that he's accomplished, not only for himself but within the community, are so far, and it was so big on my phone.
We gotta do a season.
You know what I'm saying?
We need a season.
But he actually needs no introduction.
Man,
When I
come
say
on.
the name, you'll know who it is, and
You
we're going to
did.
hop right to it. We are very honored and pleasure to have Mr. Craig Knight
Man.
for part two on Casual Conversations.
What it do? Hey, I know him as Smooth C, man. I know him as Smooth C. Always gonna be Smooth C to me, man. What it do?
That's the growth and development of a man with many
Facts.
talents. You know what I'm saying?
Many talents, many hats, many names.
Yeah. You know? How you doing today?
I'm doing outstanding. How about yourselves?
I'm doing great. I'm doing
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
President.
Hey, we here another day.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a blessing to be tired.
Yeah. Hey, how about that?
And I feel like your first visit, I was behind the camera,
Right.
so that was a cool introduction and a refresher for everybody who has seen your face, recognized your voice,
Right.
heard your name in the
Yes.
community, and that was a cool kind of like recap. That was like the cliff notes of all your impact.
Yeah.
But
Thank
now we
you.
got to follow up
Yeah.
and talk about where you are now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to even talk about because I think we were on Vegas. We were going on some things. I believe we were going from your development into 88.1 and the other radio stations. Your relationship between you and my brother Mike P.
Yes.
And then from there we were going into the phase when you were just about to touch on NYC, and that is kind of where I think the cliffhanger for all of us. Am I right? I don't know. I don't know.
That we want to know about. We want to know and learn about
Before, right? Yeah,
Right.
in New York City. The
In New
things
York
that
City.
influenced you to bring your greatness out into this community. You know what I'm saying?
Outstanding.
Are we talking the origin story?
Yeah, I think we're doing
Ah, okay.
Historians, get ready. Take the note.
Well, first,
New York. What was it like?
Well, first, let me say thank you for having me again. I did enjoy myself last time, and I think this is an awesome situation. And congratulations. And I just see this just keeps going and growing, you know?
Absolutely.
So, New York City. All right. Well, I was born in 1964 in the Bronx, New York. Okay.
The Boogie Down
Bronx. Yep. And just, growing up in New York was just nostalgic back then. I remember since I was born in 64, well, even before hip hop, I just remember the Apollo. I remember the late 60s because I was about 5 years old. You start developing and understanding your whereabouts,
Right.
So, late 60s and then the 70s, I experienced the Afro. I had an Afro and the Afro picks and the red, Michael Jackson was the thing and the Jackson 5. So, I really enjoyed growing up in my era, and I grew up. I'm on the cusp of baby boomer and Generation X.
Right.
So I was born December 17th, 1964, and January 1st, 1965 started Generation X.
Wow.
So I was the last couple of weeks of the baby boomers, but I identify with Generation X. But in my soul, it's like I still get along with baby boomers. I identify with them too, so it's kind of unique,
Right. Yeah, I wanted to say when you said the Afro.
Yeah.
So when did you move into the Jerry curl, the soul flow?
Well, you know what? I never did. I never did the Jerry curl, but I'm gonna tell you when I started visiting Las Vegas in the late 70s and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's when I started seeing the shag and all that stuff.
Right.
So I kind of like that when I moved out here, and then Mac Smith went to Mac Smith, and he gave me my first S curl.
Wow.
So I had the S curl. I didn't do the Jerry curl, but I did the S curl.
The half curl.
Yeah.
If people don't know the thing from the Jerry curl, you know what I'm saying? That's when it curls all the way down. But S curls in shape of an S, so it doesn't quite curl all the way. It's a really hip style that's popular.
I was kind of like, the Orange Juice Jones type look, you know what I mean? The wavy look,
I appreciate that you're embracing. You're not, you're not treating it like it's blackmail photos.
No, I mean, that was the thing then. You have to, that's what it was,
Was there a lot of music played in the home? And what were some of what was some of the music that was played? Because this is before hip hop. Right?
Yeah, this is before hip hop. Yes.
So, what were some of those songs and those moments in the home of the music that influenced you?
Yeah. So, of course, the Motown sound, and then transition into Black Power and peace, make love not war. And the funk era.
Okay.
So Parliament, Mandrill. Some people don't give Mandrill love, but
that was a movement.
That was a movement, man. And then you had. I mean, it was the era was just, from my experience, it just seemed like it was more love and togetherness and more black unity, more community. And that's when Soul Train was coming around, and Afro Sheen and the products, and you got Ebony and you got Jet. It was just really proud to be black, you know what I mean, and to be in that culture.
To try to unpack that, I want to try to say that our dealings of that era was because that system, or how it was created, was designed for us to be more outside, to have more activities and more structure.
Yes.
Tech wasn't so much of a thing.
It didn't exist.
Right, exactly.
We walked around with a dime in our pocket, and you used a payphone in emergency, and outside was the thing. If you got in trouble,
how many times you see people outside throwing football?
Yeah, no, you played all the sports in a day. In a day, we played football, basketball, stickball, kick the can, high go seek, skateboard, ride our bikes to the other neighborhoods and stuff like that, and be gone, but had to come back before the street lights came on. And the summertime was the best because you had daylight savings time. So you was getting home about 8:30, 9 o'clock. You was good.
I reference that into actually what's going on like today. The thing that I know, and it's like you just hit it right on the nose, is being outside like that created lifelong friends.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's
life.
something that's kind of missing
For life.
today
Yes.
for these children, because you hear
Yes.
a lot of them saying they feel alone, and it's like,
Right.
well, you met your friend playing PS. And
Yeah.
You don't even live in your.
You don't even
know what I
Correct.
mean? In
Right.
the city, you
Well,
know?
there's no physical interaction, you know. But I was gonna say, like, going back to being outside. If you got in trouble, of course, you had some households. You had a choice. I had a choice. Okay, you want to be on punishment and not go outside for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, or you want this whooping and then go. I like, hey, let's go.
Your parents were good to you.
Yep.
They gave you a choice.
Yep.
You a choice.
Give me. My mom was like, okay, you know, and I was like, yeah, go on and give me the spanking, the whooping and stuff, and then
Don't them
so I could go outside. So I could go outside, because it was nothing like having the window open and you hearing everyone having a good time and the noise
You were
and.
missing out.
Man, it seemed like it was a block party.
Yeah.
Especially on the weekends and then during the summertime.
Missing out.
You felt like you was missing. Yeah.
You're missing out on vital conversation.
FOMO actually was happening back then. That's when it FOMO was big. We didn't even know what it was, but we knew what it was without saying it. Yeah.
And even on the downside, like, you weren't just whooped by your parents if you did something bad.
Oh yeah.
You'd be whooped by anybody in the neighborhood that
Yeah.
saw you do something bad. Or
Yep.
they would go tell your parents.
Yep. Or sometimes, you know.
Community enforcement.
No, and I grew up, I caught the tail end of that. It was a time when everyone knew who your parents were.
Yes.
And it's like, you know, hey, you know, Miss Mary wouldn't, you know, approve of you doing that. And sometimes it come sit on my stoop, young man, until they get home, you know? Yeah. The stoop, which is the steps in front of the house. It's called the stoop.
In
Yeah.
case people don't know what a stoop is.
I was just going to say to you then, from that kind of experience, that should have been seared in our brain, because we're able to talk about it right now in real time. So if we know it and we've experienced it, how come it hasn't trickled down to the generation that is the most important, which is the ones we're passing the baton to?
Right.
Because we don't see a mirror reflection of what we've experienced. So I'm trying to understand where the disconnect happened. Was it gaming? Was it technology? Was it
actions?
Yeah.
was too many of it to where it offset us by this magnitude?
I'm gonna tell you what it was. Access. Access. So digital technology. Come on now. When we did homework and stuff, we had to get encyclopedias. And sometimes, or go through the library, you know. And then you had the encyclopedia man come to the door trying to sell encyclopedias. Y'all remember that?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think you do remember that.
Right. And sometimes
You didn't have a set. You had to go to the library.
right, or sometimes you might have some of the set, and you could make those payments, and then yo, Ricky, let me borrow that T and a U and a V.
Right up to P.
Right, exactly, and that was real talk.
No, that's absolutely.
And the insurance man used to come to the door. Insurance man come in, and the folks be talking to them about the plans and stuff. Let them in the house. We had and I lived in the Bronx, and I lived in Manhattan. I lived in Roosevelt Island when it first opened up in 1975. So I was out there. We moved around a lot, and what some people don't know about me is that my life was on and off single parent stepfather. Because my biological father, he was in the industry. They toured a lot and everything. So I may go to Detroit for the summer or Atlanta for the summer. But my mother made me come right back. I used to be mad when I was young. Man, this is so cool stuff going on, you know? And she was like, no. And what she was teaching me was independence. She was teaching me to be independent. She didn't want me to get caught up in the, you know, entertainment world and all that, because I was just young and I wouldn't quite get it. So I would come back to New York, you know. So going back to the 70s, I was fascinated with drums. I always was fascinated with drums as a kid.
African Congo drums or the
drum
regular
sets.
Drum sets.
Yeah, drum sets. So, and even going to shows in Apollo and all that, I used to want to hear the drum solo, and I'll look through catalog and look for drums that are, you know, and just you know, that was just in me, you know. And junior high school, we moved back to the Bronx after Roosevelt Island. Oh, I gotta tell you this, on Roosevelt Island.
I want to know about Roosevelt Island. Come on, man.
So 75 and 76.
1975
and 76 and part of 77.
Right.
The island that just opened up, it was a 2-mile island. It's still there, and it sits in between Manhattan and Queens.
Okay.
Right, and it's like 2 miles long.
Right.
And then there's the Queensboro Bridge, and then there's another bridge, the Island Bridge. That was the only way you can get there until they built the tramway, which is there now.
Wow.
So you take the tram from Manhattan to Roosevelt Island. So I was a kid. I think I was in 5th grade, and we were at the grand opening. That was like a field trip for our class to be at the grand opening for the tram.
Facts. That's big.
And then we had to write a report about it. But this is my favorite part about Roosevelt Island. I really started getting into playing in bands.
They had a lot of music.
They had music. So, and at the time, I had some friends, you know, we tried to put together a band. I played drums, somebody played sax, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We just making noise trying to figure it out, you know what I mean? And then Kiss came out.
Oh my
now this is gonna blow your mind. And what attracted me to Kiss was a friend.
Hold on. For people that don't know.
Oh yeah, the rock and roll group.
KISS. It's a famous rock and roll band.
Yep.
Did they ever wear makeup?
Yeah, they wore makeup. It was 4 members.
Yeah, and did they have hair?
Yeah, they like the platform boots. Platform boots, and they had their characters.
Right.
Like Gene Simmons, he was like a demon.
Right.
And then Peter Criss, who I like because he was the drummer. He had the cat.
Right.
You know, he had the cat look.
Yeah.
And then Paul Stanley, he had the star look.
Yeah,
the Star Child.
Oh, that's
Star Child. And then Ace Frehley, who was the lead guitar player, you know, he had like the I guess it was kind of like the alien type thing or cosmic type space type funk and all of that. And so a friend of mine said, hey man, there's this group named Kiss came out, and this Kiss Alive, that was their first album that came out. And since we were into drums, he's like, you gotta hear this drum solo. So the initial attraction to Kiss was to hear Peter Criss's drum solo in the middle of 100,000 Years is the name of the song.
100,000
Look it up.
Yeah.
The drum solo on that, and it's long too. And I'm like, dude, this dude got stamina. You know?
Right.
So
that's hard.
and then that made me want to join a rock band, you know.
Wow.
So it was a rock band on the island, and they needed a drummer.
Now, well, I know they needed a drummer, but there wasn't no racial stigmatism around that time, around music, about certain people, no matter about your color.
Right.
You guys were able to just play. Right.
Yeah, when it came to the music, we kind of got along, but then the racism did set in. Because as kids, we don't know, but the parents teach you that stuff.
Right.
And then as you get older, it's like all of a sudden, yo, what's up, Johnny? I thought we were cool.
Right.
You know?
You doing rock in New York around that time, that's white.
Yeah. Oh no, trust me.
No. But I was also gonna say my thing is you mentioned a big thing, right? Because you said the instruments were available.
Yes.
And that's how we got hip hop, is because eventually within the schools they took that away.
And that's what happened later on. Yeah. That's what happened later on.
Yeah.
So yes, you know, Kiss was a white group, but I found out later there was a large group of black Kiss fans.
I bet y'all didn't know that.
There was some Kiss fans, but we were kind of like secret.
Yeah.
Because
cover, man.
we had to be under.
You can't just wear the platform boots in the makeup.
No, not doing that, but just listening to the music.
But I meant like when you go to the concert.
Oh yeah.
You want to dress up, you know?
Yeah, no.
I mean, it's still a little bit like that, right? Because we just did a party the other day, and I'm telling you, I played for in 3 hours. I played 5 hip hop songs.
Yeah.
Everything else was rock and roll. Pop,
and they were
and Poison.
They were eating it up.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I had the greatest time.
Yeah.
Yes.
You remember when you listened to music and it
was
really a bit.
It was music.
It was just music. I just like this song. I don't care if it's rock. I don't care if it's country. I just like this.
And that's what I'm attracted to. You know, I whatever sounds good to me and I can feel it, I like it.
Come on.
You know, and then it's the genre, whatever it is, comes comes after that. You know what I mean? But yeah, so getting back to, and then I was into Little League. I played Little League baseball on Roosevelt Island. They started a Little League team. I played first base, and the name of the. I actually pitched a game or two. I actually played almost all positions, but first base was my thing.
Okay.
You know, I was a Yankees fan. Chris Chambliss. I looked up to Chris Chambliss and, you know, cats from the Yankees back then. And we were called the 59ers because, the 59ers, because the 59th Street Bridge is what went over when you took the tramway and all that. It was on 59th Street.
Give me y'all nuggets.
Yeah. Now check this out. And this was before hip hop. We got in DJ. It really, because this is like 75, 76. You know what I mean?
Rapper Delight hadn't even.
No, that didn't even. And it was a few years of hip hop even before that came out.
Oh, okay.
You know, so on my team that played center field before he was who he was a guy named Drew Carter, who later moved to Brooklyn. We left and went back to the Bronx, and then they moved back to Brooklyn, his family, right? And he became Grandmaster D.
Wow.
So Grandmaster D, before he was Grandmaster D, Drew Carter played center field on the 59ers. With the 59ers.
I'm specifically really into it. I love that. In that time frame before Sugar Hill, when you had the Cold Cuts brothers.
Right.
You know what I mean? The Fantastic Four. You know what I mean? Yeah, that.
Okay, so here we go.
On tape, right?
Yeah. Everything was taped. So we left Roosevelt Island. I think it was like the summer of 77.
So this is after the 75, 76, 77.
Yep. So we moved back to the Bronx from Roosevelt Island.
Now, mind you, by the way, I'm not even born yet. Just so you know, I'm
just a twinkle.
I'm not even here. I'm born 3 years after this. Okay, go ahead.
So we moved to the Bronx, and then, you know, I'm zoned to go to the school called Franklin D. Whalen Junior High School 135.
Oh, that's all right.
And we lived on Boston Road and Mickle Avenue, and we used to have to catch the bus. It was like your regular mass transportation bus, but they'll call it a special.
Yeah. No, wait, no, that ain't where they got the special bus from.
No, it wasn't. Okay. No. It wasn't a yellow school, short yellow school bus. No.
All right. I just heard them words, man.
No.
I was like,
they put special on the top of the bus, so people standing at the bus stop would know that.
All right.
Yeah.
See, I'm like,
we pretty much we driving past y'all pretty much.
Okay.
That's to let them know.
Got special access.
Yeah.
All right, but okay.
Right. And the school
special lunchbox.
Right. So that was during the time when you were busing, you know, so from black neighborhoods to other neighborhoods, and it was more like an Italian neighborhood off Allenton Avenue, and I forget the other street the school was on.
Had a bodega.
Huh?
Had a bodega.
Oh yeah, on the corner where we live. Yeah. And a matter of fact, and then we ended up moving from Mickle Avenue. No, let me stay on Mickle Avenue because on Mickle Avenue. And then we took the special bus, went to junior high school 135.
Listen, guys, it ain't that kind of special bus.
It's not the short bus. It's a New York City mass transportation bus.
All you new viewers.
But they utilized that. We didn't have school buses. Right. So they utilized that as the bus for junior high school students busing to another area, right?
Yeah.
And the school was about, 5-6 miles away from us, something like that. You know, that's how far it was. And we used to have to walk to school sometimes when it wasn't running, you know.
So those stories about walking with
that was real
in the snow with no shoes or miles.
Well, we had shoes, but
they did about no shoes in the snow.
That was the grandparents.
Yeah, that's what they saying.
And they really didn't have shoes. They had to share shoes.
Oh wow!
Because my dad, he told me a story about that too when they were poor.
Walking barefooted.
Yeah,
miles.
Yeah, because he was from Georgia, so that was normal out there. But now, so my first day of school, you know, I don't really know many people. I know some of the people on my block, but I'm a little older, and they're not into that school yet.
Right.
And my younger brother, he's younger than me, so he's not going to school, so I'm off by myself, right? So we get there, get off the bus, and then it's this big schoolyard, right?
What's the name of the school?
Junior high school 135.
130.
Yeah,
We got numbers.
Yeah, and
Franklin
D. Whalen Junior High School 135. So in New York,
historians, take notes. Come on.
yeah. So in New York, a lot of the schools are by numbers. So, yep. So we lived, when we later moved down to Fish Avenue in Boston Road, down the street was PS 78.
Right.
And I'm gonna get to that in a minute because there's a story there.
You got me already shook with PS 78.
Yeah.
Over here fact checking it.
No, I ain't doing nothing.
So check this out.
Nothing.
So check this out. So it's a schoolyard. Some guys are playing basketball, and somebody got this big box, and they just playing beats and music, and these cats are breakdancing, you know, and then there's some other cats that's rapping over the beat and everything. And I'm like, oh man, what's this? You know what I mean? And what connected me was the beats. Whoever DJ'd on that tape was catching the beat and mixing it in front. And since I was a natural drummer, you know what I mean? That was my first attraction to hip hop before it even called hip hop, you know?
Right.
You was an MC, break dancer. It wasn't even called rapper. You was an MC.
Yep.
Break dancer, graffiti artist, or a DJ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was still, and I was still into drums, and a lot of us were. So they had a school band and everything you could get into. So I played drums in the school band, full drum set, you know, that kind of thing, working up the skills. But this thing was like driving me. I'm like, man, I really want to know how to do that, you know? So go back to Mickle Avenue. So me and my friends talking about it, like, yeah, man, I want to DJ, man. I want to get into that. And at the time, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 4, DJ Breakout and the Funky 4, DJ Chaos, Bambaataa, all those guys were doing their thing. So, you know, we're like 12 years old and they're like teenagers.
Yeah.
You know, and they're doing block parties, parties in the community centers, house parties, and that was the thing, you know. And so there was a guy that lived down the street.
Like in the soul of it all.
Oh yeah.
Heart.
I was in the birth, like while it
was being birthed and being
Right.
created. You were in literally the beginning of it.
I was literally in the beginning, not understanding where it was going to be developed. I just like drums, and I was attracted to the beats, and I like music altogether.
Right.
And I'm seeing how they skillfully doing this. So there was a guy down the street on our block on Mickle Avenue. His name was Dale. And I think he worked for UPS or something like that, right? And he had a pair of BSR turntables and a Gemini mixer at his house, right? So we was fiending, waiting for him to get home from work, so we could go and, you know, check it out and get used to, you know, what this thing called DJing.
Yeah.
So of course he'll get home from work, and you know, you get home from work, you know, you're a little tired and all that. So he'll get on first, you know, get in. All right, you guys, go ahead and mess around. And that was my first experience actually DJing, and it blew my mind because you put the headphones on. I'm hearing one turntable in this ear, then I'm hearing the music on the speaker. So at first I was confused. I was like, wait a minute. But then, you know, going back and doing it over and over again, so it got to the point to where I was like, man, I'm tired of waiting for Dale to come home, because when we got out of school, it'd be a few hours before he got home. You know what I mean?
Oh man, we gotta go.
Yeah. So we trying to kill time and wait for Dale to come home, you know? Yeah. So then I said, you know, I told my mother, I said, you know what? I need a pair of turntables and a mixer so I can scratch and mix, right? And she's like, okay, I'm gonna call your father and, you know, and see if he can, you know, if he'll do it for you. So she on the phone, yeah, your son, there's this thing going on. The kids are doing in the neighborhood now with something called and they playing records, and they scratching. He said scratch and mix records, right? And he needs they're called turntables and a mixer, right? And then,
I can imagine you with the other
so he said
turntables.
so he's saying saying a mixer, like, you know, you mix cakes.
Yeah, we're mixing.
You know what I
I
mean?
thought you said your dad was in the industry and he's on the phone saying, "What's a mixer?"
Yeah. Well, nobody knew. The world had no idea about this culture that's developing. You know what I mean?
You got to think it's still pretty much solely in New York at this particular
Yes,
time.
in the Bronx.
It's not worldwide.
No.
You know it.
It's in the Bronx.
Innovative form of technology.
It's in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And then, you know, being in the late 70s, you know, it was all about instrumentation, live musicians and singing and all of that. Nobody had no idea what DJing was.
Right.
Maybe a radio DJ.
Right, a disc jockey.
And a disc jockey
Right, yeah.
and a discotheque and stuff like that. But not the stuff we was doing in the streets, right?
Right.
So then she said, yeah, he wants to, he needs, so he can scratch his records. And he's like, why you want to mess records up? And then and she's like, I don't understand what it is, but the kids are doing it, and this is what he want to do, you know?
That totally sounds like that should be a funny scene in a movie.
Yeah. So my dad was like, okay, yeah, go ahead and, you know, do it. So I was the first one on the block, other than Dale, to get turntables and everything.
You say LaRock?
Huh? On the block.
On the block.
Yeah, on the block.
You said LaRock.
Oh yeah, but LaRock, Doc LaRock was a DJ that was out during that time before Scott LaRock.
Okay.
Before we even knew about Scott LaRock, his name was Doc LaRock.
So I'm understanding the first rapper MC of hip hop who partnered with DJ Kool Herc was a brother by the name of Coke LaRock.
Yeah, Coke LaRock. Yeah.
Coke LaRock. And so what was he, a DJ? Was he a beat? Was he a MC? MC. Okay. So it was Herc that was DJing,
right?
Or they were both MCs.
No, Kool Herc was a DJ.
So Kool Herc was DJing and then LaRock was MCing.
Yeah. And when you MC back then, it was mostly about you have some, you know, almost nursery rhymes and all that, and get the crowd going and all that. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. So when you hear fast forward to Run DMC, Peter Piper.
Yeah.
That was I guess acknowledgement or salute to those are the kind of raps that were being done back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's hard.
So it was like it was skillful.
And then putting
their own twist to it.
Wow. With the mixer and then with the sampler.
No sampler. So So the job of the DJ, and being most DJs were drummers or percussionists, it was our job to catch the beat, to catch the break in the record.
Okay.
And you had two of them, so you had to keep it going, and then the MC for the MC to do his thing, and for the break dancers to break. You know what I mean?
How do you keep that in loop then? Because I know if you guys didn't have a sampler, then how were you guys able to keep the beat flowing? Because
you had to be fast. You bring it back. So when you release the beat, then you have your second one ready, and then you release it, and then you get funky with it. You might cut a little bit halfway through, then release it. You know what I mean? So that was it. And back then, the DJ was the star.
Yeah,
the DJ was star. Well, it's more the MC, the rapper. It's more about the rapper and the DJs in the back. You know what I mean? So like, you know, going forward again to Run DMC and Jam Master Jay.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, it would have been about Jam Master Jay, who happened to have Run DMC rocking the party.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right.
So DJ Breakout and the Funky Four, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. You know, so it was always about the DJ first.
Yeah, maybe they're not seeing the handwork and the actual work that you're putting in with mixing the music like they used to.
Yeah, I mean, it became different as time went on. The rapper became more of like they were the singer of the crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
Right. So we moved to from.
Well, now, Tom, I was going to ask, was this the end? Was this going to be the end of the group? You know, because back then you had a lot of group R&B singers. You had the Jackson 5, you had the Temptations. It was always that doo. So around the hip hop era, was that kind of the fall
disco
of that genre?
Disco. During the hip hop era, disco was hot.
Mm-hmm. So that was the hot trend.
That was the hot. Gloria Gaynor, the Bee Gees, you know, and then kind of like the funky disco, GQ.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a mixture of disco and funk, R&B, soul. You know, so there was a transition and everything, and they all songs had a break.
Yeah, absolutely.
They may had some of them had an intro
before though.
No,
They didn't have a break.
Pretty much all of what he's saying is all the songs that pretty much all the songs that are made somewhere within that song. There's a part that we would call the best part. There's a part that
Yep.
we would dance to, like,
Yeah.
that's the best part.
As soon as it hit, that make you even move even more. Like, oh, yeah, yep. So that was the break. You know, the break beat.
And that's what you would bring back.
Yeah,
Yep.
you
DJ
get-
was the human
Right.
sampler and bringing that back.
So when Public Enemy said, yo, bring that beat back, bring that beat back.
I like that.
Yeah, man. So moving from Mickle Avenue, we stayed there about a year. So now I'm going
77. We passed.
1977. I'm in the 7th grade at in junior high school in New
Wait, you
York.
doing this in the 7th grade?
Oh my God, he had a
Yeah.
turntable.
I was 12 years old. I was 12 years
I
old.
don't know how many 12-year-olds back then had their own tables. Not me. I
Yeah.
wasn't born.
Right. Yeah. No, man.
And
So
just think, like, if you didn't have the one guy that you said that would come home from work and let you practice.
Right.
If you didn't have the resources to have your own turntable.
Right.
There's
You
a
always
lot of
had to
people
find somebody that had
stayed
it.
outside all the rest of their life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real talk.
So, set 1978, you know, we moved from Mickle Avenue to Fish Avenue, was several blocks down Boston Road.
Right, boy.
And, and we stayed in the Hillside Projects, okay?
Hillside Project.
Yep.
You know about that? A lot of Latinos?
No, I was black back then.
All right.
In 1978.
All right.
But, and back then, we didn't call them Latinos or Puerto Ricans.
Okay, so
you know?
we had a Black Harlem.
Yeah, pretty much, you know.
Yeah.
It was a popular area, and where we stayed right across the street was the store that you was talking about, and next to that store was now known as I don't know if it's still known, but it was a club. It was famous, and it was called the Stardust.
Oh, yeah.
The Stardust.
They had to make one out here.
Yeah, so the Stardust Club was like right there next to the store, and you cross the street, and we was the first building right there.
Wow.
You know, down the street was PS 78, and over
PS 78.
PS 78. That was an elementary school. That was an elementary school, and PS stands for public school.
That
Public
part.
School 78.
All you people from the East and Midwest, y'all know what he's talking about. Anybody from the West Coast, we lost. We lost.
So down the street, right next to PS 78 was DJ Breakout. That's where he lived. You know what I mean? So his brother Jeffrey,
That's right.
it was his brother Jeffrey, my friend John Alexander, we call him JJ, and then it was a few other people. We formed our own group because we was looking up to Breakout and the Funky, and at the time it was the Funky Four.
Funky Four.
And it was Raheem, Sha Rock, Keith, and KK Rockwell.
Yeah.
And
Man,
Yep.
laid them on the ground.
Yep.
Ooh.
So we were privileged to see them practice, or when they was in the schoolyard at PS 78.
You saw these guys just randomly do.
Yeah.
What great to be learning. You didn't even know it.
Man, didn't even understand I was in front of future legends and stuff, you know.
Well, I feel like that's before
And growth
this
and
music was
development
made like mainstream.
Oh, this is this is
So that's
Yep.
before people were like, oh no, I have to move to an expensive neighborhood
No.
because
Yeah.
people are fighting to get my signature. Like,
Yeah.
I only know this from like the movies and shows, but it's cool to think like back in the day when you were in all of this, you were in the middle of all this. These people were just going to the grocery store with you.
Yeah, I mean, we was just normal. Yeah.
Like they didn't have a chauffeur, they didn't have a butler. They
Oh, no,
didn't
no,
have an assistant.
This,
They were
no, this was.
people that were
Hold on
very
now. This
creative.
was the hood.
No, I'm just
This-
saying,
this
like,
was the hood.
It's hard for us to
Yeah.
imagine because people that are streaming on TikTok
Right.
are making money. You know,
Yeah.
people that are posting random stupid movies on YouTube can buy mansions.
Right.
So it's cool to think like people that we truly consider talented and cultural icons were just living in the same
Man, we was just ordinary people.
Yeah.
like the song.
Yeah.
We was just ordinary
You can
people.
have a turntable in your home, but it's not a mansion, you know?
Oh yeah.
And just to be around that mindset of individuals that they don't probably even know where they're possibly going, but the connection there of what transpired and what was born there. No one knew, man. That's just,
yeah, because they called it a fad.
They said, it was a fad.
Rap hip hop was before it was
Called hip hop.
before it was even called hip hop. They were like, there's a music thing going on right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fad. They're just doing this now.
It's not real music, and it's not real this and not real that. DJ Barron was also the other DJ that was that opened up for DJ Breakout. So most crews had two DJs. You had your star DJ and you had your DJ that warmed the crowd up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I like DJ Barron. I kind of looked up to him. He was smooth to me. You know what I mean? And at the time, my name was Cool C.
Yeah. You went from smooth to cool.
Yeah. I went from Cool C to Smooth C.
Yes.
Right.
First.
So and then the name of our group was the Music Masters.
The music. Now, who came up with the Music Masters?
I don't remember exactly who did, but it was me, JJ, and Jeffrey, and then we had 5 MCs.
Okay.
And because everybody at the time, it was like you had 4 or 5 MCs, right?
Yeah.
And then during that transition time, Raheem, he left DJ Breakout and the Funky Four. They was also called Brothers Disco, right?
So they was in
he
the
left.
disco form.
He left him and ended up with Grandmaster Flash.
Oh wow!
Then Grandmaster Flash went from the Furious 4 to the Furious 5. Raheem was the 5th.
So he was
Furious
the 5th member.
5th member of Furious 5. So then Breakout ended up getting, I think it was Little Rodney C, and it was one more member that came. Then they became the Funky 4 plus one more. It made Sha Rock the plus one more.
Now, mind you,
Even before that.
You're not able to listen to this online. You're not able to download this stuff.
Oh no.
I don't even think that CDs
No.
were primarily accessible.
Cassette
so for
tapes.
So for those that don't know what a cassette tape is.
And 8-track. and 8-track, because in 19...
You don't know what 8-track is.
So in 19...
We're going to bring it up.
Check this out. So in 1978, Slim, you're gonna appreciate this. In 1978, you made your tapes and stuff. So we would record ourselves on the box, DJing and practicing.
Recording on
a boom box.
Right, but are you recording on the tape or the 8-track?
The tape.
Okay, the tape. Okay.
So 8-tracks was still a thing, but they were about to phase out because it was reel-to-reel records, 8-track. Then cassettes came. It was phasing out 8-tracks. But check this out: the first mixtapes back then were on 8-tracks. Wow. And they weren't even mixtapes. What it was 8-tracks of some of the jams. So somebody might have Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force live at the such and such. Right. And somebody might have had their boom box or plugged in to the mixer and recorded the jam and then transferred it to tape. And people riding around in their cars with 8-tracks. Yo, I got that Grandmaster Flash,
Recorded, re-recorded. So it was bootlegging before it was considered bootlegging.
Yep.
So a good movie for y'all to watch is The Get Down.
Yes, The Get Down.
Everything that you're saying, I'm only nodding my head.
And I'm gonna tell you something. And
Netflix.
I love The Get Down. I appreciate it because it described exactly what we were wearing, what the styles was, what we were saying. Yeah. I mean, it was a pure description. So everything I'm saying, if you watch The Get Down, that's your background.
Right.
To connect with what I'm saying.
The premise of the show is following fictitious characters, but they do interact with Grandmaster Flash.
Yeah.
And all the other great mentioned.
Yep.
So you're in the background of that somewhere?
No. I wasn't famous enough then. I was still a kid. I was 13 by then and still
doing a heck of a lot.
But I want to know when the first time you heard hip hop on the radio.
On the radio. So the first time I heard hip hop on the radio is, so I'm gonna say 78, 79, and 80. I was visiting Las Vegas in the summertime because my dad's side of the family had moved out here. They ended up having a residency at the Aladdin, the Hilton, the Riviera, the Sands.
Now, what group are we talking about?
Gladys Knight.
People who don't know.
Gladys Knight and the
come
Pips.
on now.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Hey, you said Gladys Knights and the who?
And the Pips.
Hey, who the Pips?
My father, Bubba Knight,
There we go.
and my late uncles. It's their cousins, but we call their cousins uncles.
Yeah.
Uncle
I
Edward
don't know
Patton.
who the Pips, and if I did, I'm gonna act like I don't know.
Yeah.
Who the Pips?
So my father, Merrill Bubba Knight Jr.
All right.
And he was Gladys's older brother. That's what made her my aunt.
So
And then
I just shivered.
the Pip in the middle, he was Uncle Edward Patton, who's passed away, rest in peace. And then the light-skinned Pip with the afro on the other end was Uncle William Guest, rest in peace. Yeah, and they were all cousins, first and second cousins, brother and sister group, so it was a family
Dope
group.
about that is how when people's stories kind of like overlap, right?
Yeah.
For me, it was dope for me because my mother used to work at this. I'm dating myself right here.
It's all right. You look good, brother.
Yeah, you do.
My mother used to work at First Interstate Bank.
Oh, I remember First Interstate
Right?
Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was a teller.
Okay.
She would come home. She's from Detroit. She would tell me how she knew and how Bubba used to come. She would. One of the Pips came today.
Yeah.
And back at that time, that's
Oh yeah.
Night in the Pip. So
Yeah.
as a little kid, I'm
That's a
like,
big
oh,
deal,
man,
yeah.
big deal for her to
Yeah.
be telling me this. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
Oh,
Doc Holliday.
First time going to 88.1.
Got you.
know what I'm saying?
Yes,
That's
yes,
hard.
yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yep, small world, man.
world, bro.
You connect the dots,
So that's
But-
beautiful to know how that all ties in.
Yep.
Because, I mean, whether you interacted with it every day or you just indirectly, like, there's
Well-
the more traditional Motown R&B.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's already baked into
Right.
your DNA.
Yeah. And I wasn't even around it that much.
Yeah.
Because even when I visit, Detroit or Atlanta during the summer times, they were still on the road. So I was meeting my sister and my cousins and, and all the siblings and stuff of the group that lived out there.
Yeah.
So I was interacting with them, I didn't really get around the showbiz part, I would say for the most part, until I moved to Vegas.
Oh wow.
So the majority.
Showbiz, but the work you got, the experience.
Yeah. And of course, when they were at the Apollo and everything, and the cool part was my mom's sisters, my aunties, they would always take me to the Apollo. I mean, from when I was 5 years old and on.
You stepped foot in Apollo.
Yeah.
You saw Sandman.
Yes. I'm talking late
The original
60s.
Sandman.
Yeah, the original Sandman. He came out with cap guns and shooting at your feet. He was doing that back then.
So let me get this right. In 1980
don't
or
know.
1983, you came to Vegas?
I moved to Vegas in 1980, but I visited Vegas. I started visiting here some of 77, 78, 79. And then when I visited in 1980, it was time for me to go to high school. And I said, I really like it out here. I think I want to go to high school. Because the high school I was zoned for was Evander Childs High School, and it wasn't really that great. Yeah, my mom was she was worried about it.
One of them schools.
Like in the movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was one of them type schools.
So you were DJing in 75.
77.
77. So at 13,
Yes.
with your own turntable.
12 going on 13.
12 going on 13,
Yeah.
in the height of an era that no one even saw coming.
Right.
Around some of the greatest grandmaster MCs and DJs.
Looking up to them.
known to man.
Yeah.
And you were there.
Yes.
And then from there, you went out here in 1980 with 3 hard years of some cold experience.
Yeah.
And no wonder.
So when I came out, and so when I started visiting out here, hip hop wasn't out here.
Right, of course not.
Naturally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
KCP, I listened to KCP, it was mostly R&B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're
So
behind the line.
yeah. So, and actually when I decided to move out here in 1980, it was just Sugar Hill Gang was hitting and all of that. But going back to the question you said, the first time I heard hip hop on the radio. Yeah. So WBLS played the Fatback Band. This was before Sugar Hill Gang.
Right. Oh, you better know about that Fatback.
Yep. So they had a track. The Fatback Band had a track called King Tim III.
Yep.
And King Tim III rapped on the track. That actually came out before Sugar Hill Gang hit, before everybody knew about that. You know, it's King Tim III. You know, he did it. I remember the lyrics, but it was like, into the beat. You know, it was that kind of feel, you know what I mean?
Right.
So we was like, oh, okay, it's starting to hit a little. And then when Sugar Hill Gang came out, I know a lot of people was kind of upset because it's like, man, Flash and everybody been around longer than who are these guys?
Right.
You know, why they get the, you know, and then Sugar Hill, Sylvia Robinson, you know, and she actually was an artist herself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because she started pretty much all of this, and she was a performer.
She was a performer, and she started the record label Sugar Hill Records, and Sugar Hill Gang was first. Then she picked up Grandmaster Flash and all of them, and Funky Four, and then was Enjoy, or one of them other independent labels. So all of the guys in the neighborhood, so all of the people in the neighborhood we looked up to, they start getting deals because of her. And now rap is becoming this phenomenon to the world. Well, before it was already a phenomenon for years in the Bronx, and then eventually Manhattan, Queens, and everything.
And really quick, while we on in that time frame of what you're saying, gotta give a big shout out to my big brother Busy B.
Busy B. Yes,
shout out to my big brother Busy B. Man, you know what I'm saying?
Busy B,
Him and Coke the Rock kind of go back and forth with the first MC.
Right. So yeah, man, it was. But I cherish those moments, and I still see them clearly. And it's like to be able to experience that is just, and still live to tell about it, and still live to see where hip hop has come from and where it's going. But to have been there in its infancy, it's such a valuable just treasure in my memory in my life.
My greatest fear is that we forget. And that we don't pass on.
That's why you got a show like this.
Yeah, this
is exactly what this show is for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because of my fears that our youth and the ones that come, they won't teach it. So we gotta have a capsule.
We gotta do it.
Yeah. We have to lets it keep continuing. Yeah. Because that's what made us who we are today. That's what provided us our magic and our caliber. And with that being lost, we're gonna be, in a very crucial place as a society, and I want to see that get overturned sooner than later.
Well, even with the culture that you carry with you and the memories and the stories that you carry with you, you brought that to Vegas. I hate to put it all on your shoulders like that. But it's real though. The shows that you had at 88.1 and the different programming that you set at 88.1, you affected my youth. I hate to make it a generational thing, but I grew up on 88.1. I lived here since I was 10, and I remember playing the radio when you guys changed locations. I think I said this after your first interview where I still vividly remember the day that you guys changed the location of your video, the station. Radio station. It went from one station to the next, and someone said something like, "We're just gonna play a mix while we are literally physically moving the equipment. So just hang tight till we come back to chat." And something must have gotten bumped. There was a few hours where the radio station was just playing "Whole Jam," and my dad would pull it up in the morning and be like, "Hey.
Check this out.
Listen, Whole Jam." And then we went to the store later the day, Whole Jam.
Still going.
Be like, hey.
So I wasn't at the station at that time, so that wasn't me.
I'm not trying to get anyone fired if they're still there.
But I do have to I do have to make this known and clear. Yeah. So when I came out here and 88.1 started playing rap. Right? And at the time, Hurt 'em Bad was doing his thing. I remember Hurt 'em Bad, DJ Frankie, Hypo Scott, who else was it? The Gigolos of Disco. And it was the devastating KB.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to KB.
KB. So it was a handful of people that was into mixing and DJing. So when I came out here to live out in the 80s and I heard that, I was like, man, I know about that. I got myself some more turntables and started doing house parties and partying at the school.
So for me, that's when I knew I wanted to be a DJ, was listening to the DJs on 88.
Yes.
I knew I wanted to be a DJ in 4th grade. Sat at the dinner table, and when everybody else was saying, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a singer, I was like, I want to be a DJ. And my dad's answer was, DJs don't make no money.
I've heard that a lot.
You
need to get a real job.
Right.
Not with that attitude.
And it was because whoever was DJing, what intrigued me the most was he was playing an instrumental of something, and he put an acapella over it. Yeah. 2 songs that I knew were completely different.
Yes, made a whole new song.
I was like, how? Is he doing this?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
You had to know.
I
had to find out.
And it just so happened to be that my mother was friends with Doc Holliday's wife.
Yeah, okay.
And she set it up for me to go to the radio.
There you go.
Early, and it was like 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was going to Jim Bridger Jr.
Wait, you was going
Jim Bridger.
You know, most kids don't like getting up that early, but you was getting up.
What was he on the special bus too? Though?
Yeah, were you on that special bus?
Nah, that was.
Hey, honestly, I know we
Heard on Bad and Jim Bridger and Friday night.
That the beginning of hip hop was also the beginning of the special bus era.
Oh man.
My first records came from 88.1 from Dare.
Are you serious?
Came and dropped off records and talked to the class.
There you go.
And so 88 was I was like, that's what I wanted.
For real, for me too.
Yep. And shout out to the POP.
Hey, 88 gave me and my boy, I won't say his name, but when we did that talent show back in the day, we performed at 88.1, and I just gotta say then they did the talent show at Thomas and Mack. Yep. And so me and my brother, we out of 500 people that they say we was in the top 5. Then when we did the talent show, we should have won, but politics can be politicking.
But we're not salty.
Politicking.
This is around the time that little Bow Wow's little protege was on the come up out here, and he got the #1 spot.
Okay, I need to hit cancel on that.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, your first gig. Let's get to your first gig DJing. Do you
First gig DJing. So in the Bronx, first gig DJing.
Oh, it was in New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did. I think it was a house party at our apartment rather.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think that was we used to practice a lot.
Yeah.
With the first official gig, we had flyers. We was charging $1 or something like that.
Right.
Yep. I think that was my first official gig.
That feeling though of you playing a record and seeing everybody dance.
Right. So of course I was nervous when it was my turn and everything. But I had in my mind, because back then we was using break beats and you only had so much time, and you was judged on how fast can you get that beat going and make the cuts in time. You know what I mean? So I was nervous, but then when people start saying, "Oh," when I bring a song, I was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Oh man," it was like a drug, man. I was like, "Oh man."
That is one of the most addicting feelings for a DJ.
And just for the reference. Just for the reference, you said this was happening when you were in New York.
Yeah.
So this is before you went to high school.
Yeah, I was in 7th grade. I was in the 7th grade.
He already went pro. He had already hit pro before he even knew it.
The life that you are telling us about is so glamorous.
That's why I said this is not a 1 or 2 thing. This is a season.
Yeah, it is, because we got so much. All the clubs in Vegas. That's a story in itself.
I mean,
this is just an episode of the series. series.
part.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to because we ain't even touch it. We ain't even cover it.
And I think it is imperative that we do have the part 3 because a lot of people say that there's no culture out here.
Come on, man.
I'm on the edge of my seat. I gotta know what happens next.
Yeah.
You know, we have people around to tell those stories.
Oh yeah.
The Shark Club and and all those places where we got together.
Yeah.
To have what we have with hip hop.
The Troubadour.
Yeah.
You know, That's Entertainment. That was Frankie and them.
Wow.
That was a popular club. And Nucleus Plaza, the Heritage Hall, the POP, and Vegas J from 88.1. High school after football game parties, $2.
I think Squally C used to DJ at one point in time.
I don't know. I ain't never seen Squally behind the turntables. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to DJ Twins too, because they were part of the original. It was a handful of DJs that really was responsible for bringing hip hop out here, and I can't say Heard 'em Bad. He was connected to Run DMC, and he was the first one to bring Run DMC to Las Vegas at the Flight Deck.
Wow.
You know the Flight Deck, and it was on our graduation night in 1983. And Run DMC just came out with Sucker MCs, and it's like that. That's all they had at the time.
Wow.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Paulie Mack as well.
Paulie Mack, yep.
Man.
He was part of the mix too. I think he was in his crew was called the FBI crew. Yep.
Hey, I was gonna say before we head out, because we already know it's gonna be a part 3, but talk about before we head out what we just did this Sunday, so people can just have awareness of it, and when we could possibly do that again.
Yep. So for the gospel part of the community, the radio station was doing a fundraiser called Gospel Karaoke Brunch, right?
Right.
So shout out to Lady AK, comedian AK. It was her idea. She discovered DJ Crystal, who's a karaoke DJ. Crystal, yep. So she came to me with that idea, and I was like, yeah, I love the idea. Let's do it. Let's make it a brunch. You know what I mean? So we, connected with the MLK Senior Center and everything. We had the first one back in November. It was successful. Food was going, and we rotate chefs. So up and coming chefs, it's an opportunity for them to display.
Jeff, if you're listening, Chef Jeff.
Yep. So actually, Chef Jeff is going to be in that new cafe they renovated right across our lobby at KCP.
Okay.
That space right across there. Chef Jeff is going to be running that cafe.
You might see me over there then.
Oh yeah. They working on that right now.
So wherever he at, I'm at.
So Chef Clint, and then we had Chef T. She was Chubby. She was the one at this last one in February 7th. So it's basically 2 sessions, 10 a.m. to noon. Then it's a break in an hour, and then the afternoon session is 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So it's great food. It's food, fellowship, and fun.
It is, and
it's gospel music, gospel karaoke.
And we got a KCEP choir, don't we?
Yeah, community choir. Simi So Real, Simi Mitchell, Brother Paul, and Pat Pennington, Haith and Henry. They're the gospel staff that come and host it and MC and everything. I just be in the background handling the business part and everything. But it's a great feeling. It's bringing community together. Everyone has had a great time so far. We've had 2 of them. We're looking to do a 3rd one in the month of February. So I'm waiting on a date for that. And it catches people. If people go to church in the afternoon, they come to the morning session. People that go to church in the morning, they come to the afternoon session. Because after church, everyone knows where we going to go eat. Where we going to go eat.
I know you go to Mariposas, right? And I know that's the spot. Shouts out to my brothers.
Oh yeah. That's a different kind of
spot where you can go to before. Pre-Mariposa.
Yeah.
This could be a pre-Mariposa spot.
Before you turn up.
Yeah, before you turn up.
Before you turn up, you could pray up.
You
lift it up.
You can lift it up. Hey, man, this was dope, man.
I appreciate y'all, man. This is awesome, man.
This was awesome.
I love the fact that all of this is being documented and stuff for generations to see and hear and refer back to. And just like shout out to the brand new West Las Vegas Library. Please go see that. The grand opening. Shout out to China Hudson and the Clark County Library District. Man. All of them, they did a phenomenal job. And they say that library is the best library in the country, technology-wise.
Yeah, technology-wise. And
so
you know something was crazy?
Right, on MLK.
Once this is done in the library in the center, this will probably be the top.
Yeah.
Once it's all said
space,
and done. Not just the space, but what you just said, the technology.
The technology,
It's about. I saw the blueprints.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to say that it's going to be done.
Yeah. Historic West Side.
Historic West Side.
Yeah.
I felt a lot of pride, joy.
Come on, man.
Being at that grand opening, it was like a reunion. But what touched me and what I love to see is that a lot of the elders that are still living, Mr. Gene Collins, Ruby Duncan, Mother Tolan, they all, she 99 years old. She was there. Wow. So for them to live to see this come to fruition, you know, because we stand on their shoulders.
Yes, we are right now.
Right now, we stand on their shoulder. They put the work in to provide so that we can have the things that we have today.
Absolutely.
And they fought civil rights movement, all of that. They were there.
Yes.
On the ground, the programs, and all of that to support and provide for the community.
Yeah.
It was them.
Yeah, it was.
And to be able to hug them and see them smile and see this happening brought joy to my heart. And then it's like, this is a cemented legacy right now that they can feel proud of, and they can exhale knowing that they'll never be forgotten.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
And this is great for the generations coming up. The technology there. I mean, the library is just they did an amazing job. I really believe it is the best in the country right now.
Where is it located for those?
On Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, right next to the post office.
Yep, by that McDonald's.
Yeah, not that far down.
Okay.
But right behind Legacy Park.
Okay, there it is. Okay.
Legacy Park is right behind it.
Right.
I think it's Mount Moriah is the street, maybe.
Okay.
You know, by the Starbucks. Across for the Starbucks.
Please check it out. Show your support. And without
such a black thing to use restaurants and fast food as the landmarks. Right next to the McDonald's.
Yep.
By the Starbucks. It's by the Starbucks.
Oh, that brother that be on the corner all the time with that orange hat. Lenny.
Okay. So obviously we are not going to finish the life story today.
No, I'll be back. I'll come back.
I don't know what's going to happen next.
I'll come back.
This is the part of the story that I appreciate because I'm not familiar with all the names you dropped and the places and the events. So I do appreciate, like we were talking about, celebrating that storytelling, celebrating that tradition of culture. So if it's possible to just celebrate your impact and keep this story going.
Absolutely.
Because I think we all had a moment where we were like, "Ooh, remember that first time I got that record?" Or remember the first time you heard that song on the radio station, the first time you heard someone mix something. I don't mean to ramble, but I do appreciate how you have been in history. You are part of history. You are making history currently.
Thank you.
So the stories that you're passing on to us might be new for some of us, mostly me. But it might just be fun for you guys to be like, "Oh, I remember that. I remember that."
And all I'm doing is just reliving what I know, you know. And I truly appreciate, and it is truly my pleasure to do it and relive those moments. And in such a time as this that we're in, it's great to go back because that was an era when we truly were united.
Yes.
We were truly united as a people, man. You know, and we had a culture, and we all we had. And then, like you said, they took instruments out of the school, so that forced us even. And it's like every time something is taken away from us as a people, we find a way to be creative. And look at it, we came up before we even knew it with a culture and a genre that took off, and it's 99.9% influence on everything around the world. You know. And they said it would never happen.
Said it, I think there was the quote from the Get Down 2 where they were like, "It's just a fad. It's just some things that the teens are doing after school. It'll pass.
It ain't real music, and that's not, and rapping, that's not real music." And we had to see it. But it pushed us more. And we really didn't care when you think about it. It was just the love of it and the creativity. And then also back then, you covered the record labels up because it was called biting. You know what I mean? It's like you had to put the work in in and find the break beats.
You didn't take no
You had to find,
plagiarism.
and that separated the good DJs from the okay DJs. If it was certain break beats you didn't have at your party, oh man, he was whack.
Yeah.
They had 3 records.
He played the same joint.
On that note, man, I think
we gotta wrap it.
Yeah.
summing it all up.
Gotta get to that next episode and have you here again.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
It is an art form.
Yes.
It was not a hustle.
No, it wasn't.
You didn't start rapping or DJing with the hopes of making money.
Look, we didn't even look at making money.
Yeah,
we just wanted to be the best.
Yeah,
you wanted to be good at it. Wanted to be good at it. Yeah. Wanted to be the best, man.
No more NIL money, you know what I'm saying? We doing it for the passion.
We were hungry.
Yeah, hungry.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So hold on. So how we go? He does him. So yeah. So how you gonna find? You let everybody know. Smooth. And I mean, really, if you don't know, I don't know what's wrong with you, but if you don't, he gonna let you know how you can lock in and support. You know.
Let's hear where we can find Mr. Craig Knight.
All right. So I'm not on social media a lot, and you can tell when you go on there. I got stuff that was on there months ago.
Yeah.
I might,
He's not lying.
So IG is at Smooth Sizzle. That's SMOOTHCIZZLE, the number 7.
Yeah, the number 7.
That's IG, at Smooth Sizzle 7.
I can't believe someone has a Smooth Sizzle at all.
I know.
You got a number 7.
But
I got a 7 because I like the number 7 because it's smooth. Yeah. To say it.
I know it.
Smooth Sizzle 7.
And you are currently also working with 88.1 heavily, obviously.
Yep. So, and actually this month on December 21st will mark 18 years as GM. This month, the end of this year, also mark about 31 years combined in Vegas radio.
That's awesome.
Genre. And next year, man, it'll be going on 50 years since I got those first 2 pair of turntables. Because next year I'll be 61 next week, and I'll be 62 next year, and that's when I was 12. So that'll be a 50 year Sagittarius. And Sag, man, we get along with everybody. You know what I mean? And we're the kindest, nicest people, but don't cross us. Oh my Lord, don't do that.
Marissa, where can they find you at?
On Instagram, it's Plain Collective.
Plain Collective.
Plain with a E for extraordinary.
Okay.
And humble, whatever. But yeah, Plain Collective, that's where I'm starting to put the professional resume out there and portfolio out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and then for me, you can find me, I am Dirty Red. You can lock me in on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, West End, Triple N. I'm in there. You know what I'm saying?
In
you
there.
Find me, just look up Gatlin. Anything GATLING. You might find this red sucker right there. All right, and there we go.
There we go. Yeah, you can catch me on Instagram at DJ Slim. That's DJ SLIMM. You can also reach me at the Fifth Element HipHop.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You can also reach me at black__transit, and you can reach me at Good Music 101. Spell it with a Z and a K. Rest in peace, my guy DJ Certified. And we will see you next time. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. We're out. Peace.
Hey.
But we just war because we have